MPL Philippines is back, and before the season even starts, the battle for the top spot is already heating up. The Philippines has always been one of the most competitive regions in MLBB, where every roster move, every synergy, and every coaching decision can shift the entire power balance. With a new season approaching, teams have rebuilt, upgraded, and refined their lineups. So the big question right now is simple. Which squads actually look the strongest heading into the new MPL PH season? Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. The Mobile Legends Professional League Philippines, better known as MPL PH, is widely considered one of the toughest regional leagues in the MLBB esports ecosystem, consistently producing world-class teams and champions. The league currently features 8 franchised organizations battling for the title and the chance to represent the Philippines in major international tournaments. In this video, we're breaking down the early power rankings based on roster strength, recent results, and pre-season expectations to see which MPL PH team looks the most dangerous right now. You see, the 2026 season of the Mobile Legends Professional League Philippines once again brings together the 8 franchised organizations that define the region's professional MLBB scene. One of the most competitive regional leagues in Mobile Legends, the Mobile Legends Professional League Philippines consistently produces teams capable of competing at the highest international level. The new season features the same 8 teams battling for supremacy: Team Liquid PH, Aurora Gaming PH, Oni Philippines, Smart Omega, Team Falcons PH, AP Bren, TNT Pro Team, and Twist and Binds PH. Rather than focusing on specific match highlights, early power rankings for this season are better understood by analyzing roster quality, stability, and the strategic identity each organization brings into the league. Among the teams entering the season is Team Liquid PH, which stands near the top of most preseason rankings, largely because of the continuity within its roster. The lineup continues to feature some of the most respected veterans in the MLBB Pro scene, including Carlsy in the jungle, Sanji in the mid lane, Sanford in the XP lane, and JP operating as a key support presence within the team structure. These players have already demonstrated their ability to perform at the highest level of competition, both domestically and internationally, and that shared experience provides a strong foundation heading into a new season. Even with some adjustments to the lineup, including the addition of a new talent in the gold lane and roaming positions, the overall core of the roster remains intact. That continuity is critical in a league like MPL PH, where communication, timing, and decision-making must operate almost instinctively during high-pressure moments. Strategically, Team Liquid PH is widely known for its disciplined macro play and objective control. Their playstyle often revolves around a jungle-centric system in which Carlsy dictates the pace of the early game, while the side lanes maintain map pressure and protect key objectives. Because the roster already understands how the system works, the team enters the season with one of the cleanest strategic identities in the league. Another organization generating strong expectations heading into the season is Aurora Gaming PH. The team carries significant momentum after capturing the M7 World Championship and choosing to maintain the same championship lineup going into the new MPL season. That decision alone signals a high level of confidence in the roster's synergy and long-term potential. In an environment where many teams frequently adjust their lineups, Aurora's commitment to keeping the same 5 players gives them a unique advantage. The roster built around Edward, Demon Kite, Yue, Domeng, and Light is widely regarded as one of the most balanced lineups in the region. Each player fulfills a clearly defined role within the team structure, allowing Aurora to operate with remarkable coordination during teamfights and objective contests. Edward's presence in the XP lane provides stability and durability, often absorbing pressure from opposing teams, while the rest of the roster positions itself for mid-game engagements. Meanwhile, Demon Kite's jungle pathing focuses heavily on enabling controlled teamfights around major objectives, allowing Aurora to convert small advantages into decisive map control. Combined with Light's leadership and shot calling, This structure has created a roster capable of executing complex strategies with impressive consistency. Then we have Oni Philippines, which enters the season in a slightly different position compared to those two teams. Historically, ONIC has been one of the most successful organizations in MPL Philippines, known for producing elite players and consistently competing for championships. Their new roster blends experienced veterans with emerging talent, creating a lineup that has both mechanical skill and long-term potential. The team's identity has traditionally centered on aggressive tempo and flexible drafting strategies, allowing them to pressure opponents from the early stages of the game. However, the challenge facing ONIC this season lies in adaptation. Integrating new players into an established system can take time, particularly when the player's strategy depends on precise coordination and rapid decision-making. Despite that hurdle, ONIC remains one of the most dangerous teams in the league because of the organization's history of developing talent and refining strategies throughout the season. If the roster quickly builds synergy, they could easily rise higher in the power rankings. Next is Team Falcons PH, which represents another fascinating team heading into the season, largely because of the contrast between their potential and their volatility. The roster features players capable of delivering explosive performances, combining experienced veterans with mechanically gifted competitors who thrive in aggressive playstyles. Falcons tends to favor high-tempo gameplay built around frequent skirmishes and bold objective contests. This approach creates an identity that can overwhelm opponents when the team is performing well. Fast rotations, unexpected fights, and confident mechanical play allows Falcons to seize momentum quickly. However, that same aggressive philosophy can also become a weakness if communication breaks down or if the team misreads a situation. In these moments, the high-risk style that normally produces advantages can instead create opportunities for opponents to punish mistakes. Because of this duality, Falcons often appear just outside the top tier of preseason rankings. Their ceiling is extremely high, but consistency will ultimately determine how far they can go during the season. Then we have AP Brand, one of the most historically successful organizations in Mobile Legends esports. They entered the season with a roster that blends experience with emerging talent. The organization has built a reputation over the years for disciplined macro play and carefully structured strategies. Rather than relying purely on aggressive mechanical fights, Brand's teams often focus on controlling objectives and exploiting mistakes made by their opponents. This methodical style has allowed the organization to achieve championship success in previous seasons. The current lineup, however, still appears to be in a stage of development, integrating new players and refining communication systems, which requires time, particularly when the team's strategies heavily depend on coordination. Early in the season, AP Brand may focus on stabilizing their identity and establishing consistent roles within the roster. Once that process is complete, the organization's history suggests that they could evolve into a formidable contender capable of challenging the top teams in the league. We also have TNT Pro team. They approach the season with a roster that balances veteran leadership with younger talent. The lineup includes players who bring valuable experience from previous competitive environments, alongside rising competitors eager to prove themselves to the MPL stage. Strategically, TNT has often leaned towards compositions that emphasize stability in the early game before transitioning into coordinated mid to late game team fights. This philosophy allows the team to scale into powerful late game scenarios, particularly when their core damage dealers reach key item timings. However, it also requires exceptional discipline during the early phases of the match. If the team falls behind too quickly, their scaling strategy becomes much more difficult to execute. Because of this reliance on controlled pacing, TNT's success will depend heavily on how consistently the roster can execute its game plan against more aggressive opponents. Another team joining is Twisted Minds PH, who represents one of the newer organizations competing in MPL Philippines, and their roster reflects a team still developing its competitive identity. The players bring strong mechanical skill and a growing level of professional experience, but the team is still in the process of refining its communication systems and overall strategy. In some ways, this makes Twisted Minds one of the most unpredictable teams in the league. Opponents may find it difficult to prepare for a roster that does not yet fully follow an established playstyle. Draft priorities, lane strategies, and rotations can vary significantly from series to series. While unpredictability can occasionally provide an advantage, it can also highlight the challenges of building long-term consistency. As the season progresses, Twisted Minds will likely focus on strengthening their coordination and decision-making, turning raw mechanical talent into a more structured competitive system. And finally, we have Smart Omega, who rounds out the list of teams entering the season with something to prove. The organization has shown flashes of strong individual performance in previous competitions, but consistency has often been their biggest challenge. The current roster includes players capable of impressive mechanical plays, yet the team has struggled at times to convert those moments into sustained success against stronger opponents. Omega's strategic identity traditionally centers around coordinated team fights rather than early game dominance. When the team successfully reaches mid-game scenarios with even resources, they can leverage their communication and positioning to execute powerful engagements. The challenge lies in reaching those moments consistently against teams that apply heavy early pressure. For Omega, the upcoming season represents an opportunity to rebuild momentum and demonstrate that they can once again compete with the league's strongest organizations. Taken together, these 8 teams create one of the most competitive environments in the global Mobile Legends ecosystem. Each organization enters the season with a unique combination of roster strength, strategic philosophy, and long-term potential. As the league unfolds, those elements will ultimately determine which teams rise to championship contention and which ones must adapt in order to keep pace with the evolving meta of Mobile Legends esports. Now, I want to hear from you. Which MPL PH team do you think will dominate the season? Do you believe the favorites will stay on top? Or could you see a surprise contender rise? Drop your predictions in the comments and don't miss the next video on Mobile Legends News, where we'll break down the biggest storylines to watch this MPL Philippines season. Till next time!